All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host for today's broadcast, Insanely Air 13, as we're preparing to get underway for qualifying for our last race of Sunshine's League's F1 1960s Championship. We're looking at a four-way fight in the title coming into today's race. This could get very interesting here. Three different winners over the last 6 races of the season, and now it all comes down to this. We're getting ready to get underway here. Sorry, 3 winners? I mean 4 winners. We've had 4 winners over the course of the season. But it all comes down to this. The Green Hell here at Nurburgring Nordschliefe. 1 lap qualifying will set the field. And again, no yellow flags, full simulation damage. Things could get very interesting very quickly here. We're just waiting for EXR Juiced to get properly readied up here, and then we'll get underway. 12 drivers, so this will be the highest attendance of the entire season. After our last few events have struggled to even have more than 7 today, it's a massive turnout. Everyone wants to be here and leave their mark on Nurburgring. So the way this is going to work is that we are going to see in qualifying here, everyone going back to a tire barrier that is 3 turns back on the circuit. They can go back to that point and then rev up those engines and shoot out from there. So they'll be rolling when they get to the start-finish line. So everyone will get a single lap. So if you invalidate a lap, you're going to go in the back. But considering that this is a more than 16-mile lap, we could very easily be looking at a circumstance where just getting a clean lap that's slow will put you on or near the front of the field. So we're still waiting, not really sure what the holdup is, unless there's another driver who they're anticipating is going to end up being able to join them here. They may have had someone lagging out. Yeah, several drivers are making a return for a first time after a while. One of them, LMP Lynx, who had been fighting for wins in the first 3 races of the season. Same with Racing Jason. Jason hadn't been fighting for victories. He had been struggling with the Lotus. Only started the first 2 races of the season. Now he's back here with our third. For his third event. Larry B, who won last week's race at the Rio Street Circuit in the Ferrari. Tire barrier is also representing the Ferrari today as well. So in today's event, Sunshine leads by 7 points coming into today. Then in about 9 points behind is Larry B the G. Well, 7 points behind is Ludicrous Speed. 9 points behind is Larry B the G, and I believe it's 13 points behind is Vera Tabnik. Vera might be able to pull off a rookie championship, but she would need a lot of chaos to happen farther up She's in the contention simply because of the way Nurburgring works out. But off the back of 2 very strong podiums in the last 2 weeks, she's proving herself to be a silent but strong title contender. It's also helped that she's shown up for every race this season. LMR Critical, he has won more races than everybody else. However, by missing 2 races and then also crashing out last week, and he was right at the finish, but after crashing last week multiple times at Rio, Critical is out of the championship contention right now. We're still waiting to get underway here. Not sure what the holdup is at the moment until they get underway for qualifying. Again, qualifying is going to be one single lap. All right, here we are. So again, everyone is given the ability to go ahead and head back to a set of tire barriers that are after the long back straight. Of course, drivers should ideally make sure that they don't end up compromising or damaging their gearboxes in the process here. Already, it looks like LMR Critical may be dealing with a bit of a transmission problem. Here's another driver, Larry B, the G. Oh god, did someone just lag out? You may have lost somebody. Yes, SCR Dramora seems to have lagged out. Alright, and here we are. Now we're seeing the drivers rocket out, gain a run, so that way they can have a good, clean run to start the lap. They'll have a rolling start here. You're watching the Ferrari number 5 of Larry B, the G. Again, only a single lap is going to determine So through the GP circuit, so initially, this entire GP circuit was just a pair of long straights, not as long as the back straight, but a pair of long straights with a 180-degree hairpin in the middle of it. That was torn down in the 1980s, and it's one of the reasons why the lap records set in 1986 are basically impossible to beat. And they also completely destroyed everything from the times before. The track was technically shortened in the 80s, so that way the part of the circuit that was busted down could be used to make this the Formula 1, the more modern Formula 1 layout, but connects back into the rest of the circuit. And Coinsey has had an accident potentially. I'm going to see real quickly what may have happened to Coinsey and how bad it might be, because if the car is destroyed, there's no damage. Apparently, he's just spun off on his own, but this is going to compromise their ability to actually get a time in. Yeah, it looks like Coinsey is going to go ahead and back out of qualifying as well now after invalidating their lap. So again, having a clean lap is going to be the most important thing. This is Ludicrous Speed, who is second in your championship fight. Right in the Eagle, he just desperately needs to bring home a great day, and he needs some real bad luck to fall Sunshine. He came home second, while Sunshine was fourth. Now, those results being replicated today would not be enough. Sunshine would still win the title, but we only had 7 drivers last week, only 6 of them making it the length of the race. Today, we have 12 drivers. An instant here could have much more disastrous effects. You can see how high that Eagle leaps off the ground, and he keeps it legal on the track without too much issue. Great job on Ludicrous's part. So he's very competent with this Eagle Formula 1 car. Eagle set up by Dan Gurney won at 1967 at Spa-Francorchamps, just a few weeks after Dan Gurney and AJ Foyt together won for the Ford team at Le Mans. An event that's actually going on live right now. Oh, he's off, and that probably invalidated his lap. And if his lap's invalidated, he's going to have to start near the rear of the grid then. Another driver has dropped out now. And that would be TJT Oliver. Realizes that he can't do anything, his lap's invalid. Ludicrous might just stick on track and just keep pounding laps out, pounding the rest of this lap out, even if it's dirtied after hitting the wall, because he'll at least be ahead of everyone who's pulled out and withdrawn their time. Oh, Critical may have had an instant now. Critical might have had something go wrong. Critical, despite winning more races than anyone else with 3 across the season, he's only had 1 truly perfect race. Now the car is stopped in the middle of the track. All right, he's back underway now. Yeah, it looks like Critical now with an instant, so he is not going to be starting near the front. Oh, Vera with a big slide there. Vera trying to put together a good run for her. And regardless of what happens with the overall championship, she has locked up Rookie of the Year honors just by virtue of finishing every race, and then also off the back of a pair of podiums in the last 2 weeks. She has had a very strong season despite really not being rated super high by a lot of the drivers here. That's not to say she's not favored. She's relatively popular, but it's more of an issue that she's just not really... Oh, wow, that's a bit of a slide. She's not really been at the same pace as we've seen Sunshine or Critical have been. Larry B. the G, 3rd place in the championship fight. He's another driver who's just kind of ended up in the title fight by showing up every week, and he did not have any podiums in the first 5 races of the season, but a victory last week at Rio has vaulted him into the title fight, and he is one of the drivers in the Ferrari. And we know the Ferrari is going to be incredibly competent in the corners as long as you have a good setup, because it's so lightweight, and you don't have a whole lot of power in it either, so it's going to be very competent in the corners and initial acceleration. But on the really long straights, we're anticipating that Larry's Ferrari here is going to be struggling significantly. Tire barrier cuts the grass there. I don't know if that would be enough to invalidate or not. So already several of our drivers, 4 of them, have backed out of our qualifying session. They were basically in the mindset of, say, clean lap or go home. So right now, I think we're in a position that even the drivers who invalidated and dirtied their lap, they might as well stay on track because they can at least be guaranteed a higher spot compared to the drivers who already backed out. Here's EXR Juiced 1 at Road America. Hasn't shown up to enough races to really be a contender for the title, but he is incredibly fast, and I would be more than a little bit concerned about what he can actually make this machine of his do around here if the thing is properly set up. Oh, and he's off! Real quick, I want to see what Ludicrous Speed's top speed is going to be here. 207, 208, 209, 209 miles an hour is the highest speed that we're seeing in the Eagle. And we are anticipating the Eagle to have the fastest straight line speed. So 209 miles an hour. You can see LMP Lynx absolutely throwing it up behind Ludicrous here. Eight minutes 42.550 from LMP Lynx is the fastest lap time thus far. So Lynx looking to be in a position to really upset the championship fight right now. No one else has topped his time at the moment. Critical and Larry B will be crossing the line shortly here. Now Veritabnix has had the fastest overall time start to finish, but not the fastest single proper lap. Mr. Sunshine now goes to the top, 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, what is the actual fastest lap that's clean? That's the real question. Clean laps, only 2 drivers have set them. And for anyone looking to take the championship away from Sunshine, this is not good news for him because the only 2 drivers set clean lap, Veritabnu with a 9-minute .333, and then Mr. Sunshine 8-minute and 40.053. So the 2 drivers at the front have wildly different times, and honestly, no one is even close to Sunshine. The next closest man is LMP Lynx, and his time is 2.5 seconds off. Ludicrous Speeds is nearly 3.5 seconds off. And we don't know what Oliver, Coinseed, Dramora, or Jason's time are going to look like, but at the front, it looks like this is going to be a walkaway by Mr. Sunshine based off of at least single lap pace. Sunshine won the second race of the season back at the Bernice Alps circuit. One thing of note, though, is that Ludicrous will be starting in row 2, so he is in position to capitalize. But you can see how massive the time differences are across the entire grid. And LMR Critical, he's going to be starting near the back in 8th position, 9 minutes and 13 seconds after having an incident. Tire barrier set only a 9-minute and 9.3, so massive gaps across the entire grid from top to bottom. All right, this lap is only going to be a 6-lap race, 1 mandatory stop in the event. This is where the fun begins. So, Juiced says that his lap was already invalidated in turn 2 after going just 2 tires too far over the track limits. So yeah, only 2 drivers able to get a proper clean lap around here, and that really causes a massive shakeup with how this race is going to start. 3 of our championship contenders are starting in the top 4 positions. 2 of them, Sunshine and Vera, starting on the front row with each other. Again, real quickly, looking at the title fight. In the championship, Sunshine leads 486 points. Ludicrous Speed is second, 479. Third is Larry B. the G, 470. Veritable News, 466. So that's a 20-point swing. You can earn 101 points for taking the fastest in-race lap and winning the race. And then it's 100 points for winning the race, 2 points less for each position down. So of the 12 drivers, last place today will end up only taking home 76 points overall in the title fight. So that's a 25-point swing in all reality. So yes, Veritable 20 points out within contention. For Ludicrous Speed, he is 7 points out of Sunshine. For Ludicrous, he needs to either get fastest lap points and finish he basically needs to finish 4 spots ahead of Sunshine. If Ludicrous Speed can finish 4 spots ahead of Sunshine in today's event, he will take the championship. For Larry B. the G, who is 16 points out, he needs to finish 8 points ahead of Sunshine. And then ideally, he needs to win a race as well, because both of them are tied on a single race victory each. And that's kind of the big thing. Ludicrous has not won a race yet this season. Larry has only won a single race. Vera has not won a race. And Sunshine has won a race. Sunshine, I think, also has more podiums than Larry overall. In fact, I'm 100% sure Sunshine has more podiums overall than Larry does. So in any direct tie, Sunshine will take home the advantage. So 4 spots ahead is where Ludicrous needs to be, ahead of Sunshine. For Larry, he needs to be 8 spots ahead. For Vera, she basically needs Sunshine to have an accident to take him out of the race early on while she takes home either a win or a second place finish. It's the only way that Vera can take home the championship today. Just stand by right now, waiting to get underway. Here we go. This is where the fun begins. The last race of Sunshine's League's Grand Prix 1960 series about to go underway at Nurburgring. One of, if not the, most intense race circuit still left in the world, a hallmark of the pre-World War II days of Grand Prix racing. And now it's time to see what these drivers can do. 12 drivers will take onto the circuit for a 6-lap run here at Nurburgring Nordschliefe. We load onto the circuit. And it's green flag. Sunshine had no problem at all getting off the line, it would appear. Diving into the field, EXR Juice pulling up with LMP Lynx. They're 3 and 4 wide. There's a lot of sideways and shenanigans going on in the middle of the field. Ludicrous Speed has lost several positions right off the bat. Now he's behind Larry B. the G, going to try and out-accelerate the Ferrari. Again, the Ferrari has great initial acceleration, but the Eagle has fantastic and way stronger acceleration the longer a straightaway goes. So here in the modern-day F1 GP section, things will go relatively well for Larry, but as they get into the Green Hell's portion, things go better for Ludicrous. But actually making overtakes is going to be the big struggle here. And now here's LMP Lynx. Lynx running in second at the moment, trying to keep EXR Juice and LMR Critical behind. Critical immediately leapt up the grid, and as long as these drivers are all fighting, that's going to be better and better for Sunshine at the front. Sunshine, it's really simple. If he can take home a finish in the podium position, Sunshine will win this championship by default. Lynx is within a second, and Juiced has fallen back a bit in a little bit of a fight with Critical. Critical, the highest of the Ferrari drivers right now. Critical has been without a doubt the fastest, but his races outside of Monza have been plagued with incidents. At Spa, he had a spin after taking the lead early and had to fight back to the front. Then at at Silverstone, he took the lead in the first 2 laps, only to have an instant and fall back behind and have to take the lead back. That really compounded last week. Oh, and Lynx is around! Lynx has gone around just in front of them! And he's not the only one. There's another red car that's gone off further back in the walls. Juice has hit the curb. He's all sideways. It looks like our top 4 are still staying steady for a moment. Ludicrous Speed is in 5th right now. As we ride on board with Critical, the entire top 4 all on top of each other. He's so nice, so smooth and nimble through these corners. And now this is the section where we need to be the most wary about. Coming up to the jump. Oh my goodness, Critical, so much speed, but he keeps it on the track. He'll keep it on the track very well. Great job on Juice's part. Critical not able to capitalize, no change in the top 4. Ludicrous Speed is running 5th, but is losing touch with our leaders at the moment. Fight for 3rd, incredibly intense right now. And we may have had some... Oh, wow, that was Juice. He's gone off. Juice has gone off. And boy, has Juice gone off. There is damage to that car, I believe. The rear is destroyed. The engine is ruined. Everything is destroyed on the car. There is nothing that's going to be functioning except for the steer. Oh, and he's not alone. He's hit by another driver. And that's TJT Oliver. And Oliver has had an accident as well. So 2 different cars have wrecked at the same point. TJT Oliver's car is destroyed. Coinsey may also have damage as well. Yes, Coinsey has had damage as well. So we're not even halfway through the first lap, and already the Green Hell has claimed 3 different cars today. SDR Dramora going to move all the way up into the 9th position off the back of these accidents. This is Ludicrous Speed. He's lost positions here. Oh, and Ludicrous, bad news for the Eagle. Damage, and our highest title fighter, well, one of our highest title fighters has had an accident early on here, and everything's gone bad. Mr. Sunshine out in front continues to lead without issue for the moment. Second place is LMP Lynx, and Lynx, despite being all over the circuit, actually has a bit of transmission damage potentially. Lynx is putting pressure on Sunshine. Nose to tail here for first, 3rd place. Oh, Critical has had an accident as well. Something's gone wrong with Critical. He has also fallen completely out of contention. Now, he's not damaged, but he has fallen back. Oh, that's Jason who's now had an accident. And here comes Critical up behind Jason now. Is Jason injured from that instant? It does not look like it. Meanwhile, at the front, Sunshine trying to go ahead and just wrap up a title by just taking home a victory here. Lynx wants to take home a victory. He's been very competitive in the races he's shown up to, but hasn't gotten that win yet. Someone may have just dropped out of the event. I don't know who. Nope, no one's dropped out. Everyone's still running at the moment. Oh, and there goes Lynx in the carousel. Sunshine could not keep the car stable, and Lynx absolutely blitzes him. All of our title contenders are in the top 8 positions, but Ludicrous is falling back after taking extreme damage in the first lap here. And Sunshine has lost the lead to LMP Lynx, and Vera Tabnu is running in 3rd. Vera Tabinks is running in a very calm and consistent 3rd. Larry B, another title contender, runs right behind her. Larry needs to dispose of Vera as quickly as possible to make something happen. for the title fight. But more than anything else, they need Mr. Sunshine to have some sort of accident, and they need it to happen early enough in the lap that makes Sunshine lose a bunch of time. The earlier in the lap your accident happens, the more damaging it's going to be to your race. So all these drivers that had an incident early on, like Coincy, like Juice, they're all going to be massively negatively impacted because of how early in the lap it was. But the later in the lap an accident happens, if it does happen, the better off you're going to be. Sunshine is losing touch with Lynx, but Lynx is struggling to keep that car on the track. So a very active fight at the front here. Larry continues to run in fourth behind Vera, but Larry is in a car that is really going to struggle overtaking Vera's machine. Oh, here comes a potential move for a lead. Lynx shuts the door before it really becomes an issue. Through the mini carousel, a little bit more stable for Sunshine there compared to the normal carousel. Last corner, and then we come onto the back straightaway. Draft is going to be incredibly important here. LMR Critical has now dispatched Larry B the G, so Critical is now back up into the fourth position. Here comes Sunshine trying to make a move back on LMP Lynx. He runs in the draft for a bit. When does he make the move? He's right there. He's right behind. Nose to tail, but Sunshine is not making the move yet. Sunshine might not even try to make it. Again, Sunshine is in second. This is a high enough location to secure the championship for him. Lynx drops a tire into the dirt ahead, but maintains the top position. These two are basically in a zone of their own. Now Racing Jason has dispatched Larry B. Larry may have some... I think Larry's just struggling with power in a straight line. Let's make sure there's no damage on that car. Yeah, no damage. He just doesn't have any speed in a straight line. And Vera runs third, keeping LMR Critical behind her for the moment. But Critical in the Ferrari is incredibly competent at making overtakes, especially here in the GP section. Ludicrous Speed going to come into the pits. We're anticipating that he's going to repair the damage to that car, but this could have a massively negative outsized effect. That Eagle, we don't believe it has the fuel tank to go 5 laps without issue. Dramora has gone way off. Is there damage on Dramora's machine? No, Dramora is still clean. Meanwhile, at the front, Sunshine is back ahead of Lynx. Something happened to Lynx? Or has Lynx just lost control on his own? No damage, so it does seem like Sunshine's able to get by Lynx here in the GP section of the circuit. Again, Sunshine just needs to bring home a finish in the top 3 positions, and he will have the title locked up. Seems like Lynx is better than Sunshine in Nordschleife and the GP section. Critical is, Sunshine is significantly faster than Lynx. Vera has lost third now to Critical, speaking of which. So for Vera, with one driver already having dropped out, that's Coincy, her title hopes are already withering away. Here's a little fight of note. Racing Jason and Larry B the G. Jason's in a car that has a lot of straight line speed, but not really much else going for it. Larry's in a car that's going to be nice and nimble through these corners. And you can see how much Jason is really struggling Larry around the outside. Now here's the thing, he's got a perfect overtake made, but now Jason has enough speed to just kind of negate it into a following corner though. And both of them keep it on the track. Lynx is losing touch with Sunshine. The gap's now 1.7 seconds in Sunshine's favor. Oh, and that's Jason's all sideways just ahead of Larry. It brings Larry back into the fray, but not really in a position to make a fight out of it. And this duo is slowly closing in on Vera, who is in 4th right now. Oh, big sideways move from Jason under the brakes. And here comes Larry, goes right around the outside with a lot of confidence in that thing. He's by. He has made the overtake stick, but now as they get onto the straightaway, Jason should have enough speed to just outrun him to the next corner. He'll have to brake early. Yeah, Jason not able, that little straight was just not enough for Jason to pull back ahead of Larry. So for Larry, he needs to maximize what this car can do here in the Nordschleife before they get to any of the long straights. And STR Dramora has had an incident. No, he's not apparently. Okay, it looked like he had an incident. Ludicrous Speed's already cleared him, but Tire Barrier, who is in 7th, is a long ways away. And again, the biggest problem for Ludicrous may be the fact that he may have to make an extra pit stop today. At the front, Sunshine still leads Lynx. Yeah, it looks like Lynx is really struggling at this point in the event. Here's another driver that seems to be struggling here in the Nordschleife section. Jason. He is losing touch now with Larry B ahead, and Larry is catching Vera Tabbings, sorry. For this duo of Vera and Larry, it's a little bit frustrating because they're both of them are having a good run, but it's not good enough to even remotely put them in title contention. Because Sunshine is your driver who is leading at the moment, and not by a small margin either. 2.2 seconds in Sunshine's favor right now. EXR Juice is still on track, but he is 2.5 minutes roughly behind TJT Oliver, so Juice is in a position he basically needs drivers to have accidents in order for him to start making positions back. This fight for 4th. Larry has caught Vera. Vera will have speed to blitz away from the Ferrari once they get to the back stretch. But Larry seems to be significantly faster. Again, Vera started front row, but her time was 20 seconds slower than our pole time from Mr. Sunshine. So it's not like she's incredibly fast, but she's been incredibly steady and consistent. And that might be what she needs to stay ahead of Larry. Lynx has fallen now 3.6 seconds off of Mr. Sunshine at this stage in the event. So most of the positions on track have pretty much stabilized outside of this fight for 4th right now. So it's turned into a matter of just pure survival. And unless Sunshine has something happen, I think he's good to the end. Critical is faster than him, but Critical is going to have to get by Lynx first before he can even catch them. Yeah, you can see here Vera immediately starts gapping Larry, and the gap just gets bigger and bigger the longer the straight goes. The Ferrari has very little weight and also very little power. It gives it great acceleration when you first get onto a straight, but the longer the straight is, the more and more the Ferrari is harmed, already out of the drafting range of Vera's machine. Our top 3 all stay on the track. I'm honestly very curious to see where Vera is going to end up being assaulted by Larry and when Larry's going to get by her. Because I do think Larry is fast enough that he should be able to overtake Vera without too much of an issue here. Doesn't look like anyone else has pitted this circuit. Three and a half seconds is Sunshine's advantage over Lynx. Jason has lost touch with this fight, so Jason has fallen to a bit of a distant 6th. And then 7th and 8th are nowhere close to that fight right now. And again, Ludicrous Speed may be in a position that he may have to make an extra stop before the event is over. A little bit of contact, nose to rear engine there from Larry on Vera. He's getting very anxious through these corners. But when you actually get onto the straight, Vera is able to hold her own very competently. Tire barrier in 8th position will make a stop, so that will move Ludicrous Speed up into 7th. Critical is about 11 seconds out of the lead right now. We saw Larry kind of go a little bit sideways and slide off here earlier on lap 1. The field was a lot tighter packed then. Now it's just these two, and it looks like both these drivers, they're not really sliding off. They're just really abusing the track, basically trying to utilize the curbs to compress the springs in some way to get them extra turning through some of these corners. Lynx has fallen more than 4 seconds off of Sunshine's lead right now, so right now it looks like everything's in Sunshine's favor. As long as he does not have an accident, this should be an easy race victory and a championship win for him. Well, you can see how sideways Vera is after she lands, because the moment you land that car, you immediately have to get the turn in. And Vera all sorts of sideways when that happens. It let Larry close in, but now we get onto another longer straight. Not the longest, but a longer straight. And Vera starts immediately pulling away from the Ferrari. Back downhill now. This is another straight-ish like section of the circuit. It's not a true straight, but it's very close to being a straight. You're going to stay full throttle throughout nearly the entirety of this section of the circuit. Under braking, Vera actually gets on the brakes nice and early, and that lets her hold her station over Larry. Jason's fallen 10 seconds off of this fight. So this is the only active battle on track right now. And normally I would spin a lap on board. Oh, and there goes the Ferrari has gone off. Larry dropped the tire off. He's back onto the circuit, but will lose a bunch of time to Vera in the process. Ryan on board with the Ferrari. Critical is roughly faster than Sunshine by about a second a lap, but considering this is only a 6-lap race, it is not likely that Critical will catch Sunshine in time to get that position. So again, unless Sunshine has an incident, this is looking like it will be a race and championship won by Mr. Sunshine here. Closest rival in the championship coming into this race, Lucre Speed, is buried in 7th and may have to make a second stop. These drivers, Larry B to G and Vera to Binks, even if Sunshine had an accident, they are not quite far enough ahead of the field to make something happen title fight wise. Sunshine would need to basically crash pretty much in the GP section of the very first few corners of the Nordschleife in order for Larry to end up pulling far enough ahead of Sunshine to put himself in a position where he could steal the title. And for Vera, she basically would need Sunshine to disconnect and would also need basically all the drivers ahead of her to have an accident to drop them behind her right now. Both those are very possible circumstances. All of those could happen, but it's not a guarantee by any means. Right here, this final third of the track, you can see how massively the Ferrari closes in on Vera, just being so much smoother through the corners by virtue of having so little weight on the car. Vera's very good at defending, though. She's entering these corners kind of wide and then cutting down to have a tight exit. This not only gives her a great extra amount of straight-line speed, but also means that kind of denies the ideal racing line to Larry. As Larry goes into the dirt there, it's not going to help very much, is it now? And Lynx has actually fallen behind Critical. I've been focusing on this fight because I thought that it would go on for a while and this one wouldn't start, but Lynx is struggling. Doesn't look like there's damage on the car. It just looks like he has lost touch. Now, Critical's in a Ferrari, though, and Lynx is not, so Lynx should, if he nails these last few corners, be able to utilize straight line speed to make this fight last a little bit longer. Gap's 9/10 at the moment. Brabham should have enough of a straight line speed advantage just with having all the extra power. He should be able to catch the draft off of Critical. He's within the draft for sure. Here comes the move. Lynx looking to the outside of Critical. Simple overtake. But Lynx goes into the dirt at the end of the straight, and that lets Critical close right back in. Here comes Critical now fighting back, and he's going to make it into the dive into the pits, I believe. So yes, Critical fighting for second position. Pits now. Sunshine and Lynx still have yet to make their stop. Vera is not going to pit yet, but Larry will. So Larry and Vera now off sync with each other. So it's all going to come down to in-lap and out-lap, and that's basically going to be 20 minutes worth, well, realistically closer to 10 minutes worth of racing to see if Larry can overtake Vera by just running cleaner laps and clean air. So that will probably be how the fight for 4th overall will be decided. Lynx has completely lost touch with Sunshine. Sunshine has an 11-second lead over the rest of the field right now. This is ludicrous speed. He's in 7th. Again, we do not know if he has the fuel to make it to the end. We do not anticipate he does. We think he will have to make one more stop today. But even if he doesn't have to make one more stop, the accident they had was in the first 2/3 of the first lap, and he has lost a significant amount of pace and time. Even if Sunshine had an incident, it's unlikely he would fall back far enough for Ludacris to capitalize. As your race leader right now is going into is heading back into Nordschleife now, while Ludacris is only just 10 seconds about in to the GP section. So here's the fight for third. A new fight for third is going to kick on. Critical once again needs to figure out a way by Vera and do it nice and smoothly. There is another fight going on for 9th and 10th that we've not really put a lot of focus in. SDR Dramora and TJT Oliver have found each other in this battle for 9th and 10th. But it looks like for now, Dramora has the upper hand in this fight. So Critical watching Vera here. Really big sideways moment there. Critical fighting for what should be an overall podium, might even be a second, considering how Lynx has lost touch. He had a really great first lap, but Lynx has kind of fallen off the pace as this event has gone on. So Critical might be in a position to take home a 2nd place finish. Oliver now gets by Dramora. I believe Dramora, yeah, it's because Dramora is making a stop. He's splitting the race basically right in half. Here comes Critical. You can see that Ferrari gets really sideways and kind of lands a little bit lopsided, but both of these drivers keep control of their cars. Critical has the same strengths that Larry has, but Critical has been a stronger and faster driver throughout the season. So I anticipate that this should be a really easy overtake by Critical. Goes right in under braking. And this run downhill will be a bit more top speed than acceleration focus. Critical's going to counter that, though, by just straight lining some of the bins. Gets right into Vera from behind. They stay on it, though. Is there any damage on the Ferrari? Does not look like it. He is just absolutely blitzing it right now. Vera's sideways. Here comes Critical, and Critical with the better acceleration and not struggling with control of the car at all makes an easy overtake. He's back into 3rd, and we are anticipating that he should be able to finish in 2nd position overall. Sunshine is now more than a full pit stop ahead of Lynx on track. So again, as long as Sunshine doesn't have an accident or a disconnect, he has got this championship and this race victory locked up. Best lap thus far has been Critical, 8:35.262. Now, I don't know if that's a clean lap time or not. There is a extra point available for anyone who sets the fastest lap in the race. So right now, the field incredibly spread out, and Sunshine is just running away from everybody else. For Lynx, it's kind of interesting because he's just been hemorrhaging time. There's no damage to the car as far as we can tell. Oh, no, he is damaged. Lynx has some significant front-end damage. So he's not just falling off because he's not as fast. He actually has some major damage to the steering, the transmission, the driveline. This basically all but confirms that Critical will come home second. This also means that Vera and Larry will be fighting for likely a podium position. And Lynx just is going to continue to fall away from Sunshine here. It's really not even going to be close now. Lynx has had some fantastic runs at both Spa and Bernice House, but accidents took him out of contention for the win in those races. And it looks like the same story is the case here at Nurburgring Nordschleife. Incredible potential, but the ability to harness it has been the most important thing. The brakes are damaged a bit, the springs are damaged, the transmission and driveline are destroyed, the steering is very badly damaged. The only thing he really has in his favor right now is the engine. So whatever happened, he must have gone off into a tire barrier with the right front of the car. Nearly 40 seconds. Actually, it's about 40 seconds, the gap between first and second. So Sunshine can honestly pit whenever he wants and does not have to worry about being overtaken. It looks like he's going to lead this race flag to flag. Not literally, but by the ticker at least it will be. Critical now is within 6 seconds of Lynx. They are coming into the last few corners. And Lynx does have the straight line speed to kind of negate Critical's advantage. Again, he'll be pitting and is going to drop likely back to about the 4th position, we're imagining. 5th might be as far back as he drops as well, but there are other drivers who still need to make stops, primarily Vera Tabinks. Vera's been closing. Vera is now within about 11 seconds of Lynx and will continue to close. You can see Critical now in the background closing in on Lynx. With a damaged transmission, the ability to maximize the engine's strength is going to be a bit harder to do here. Critical now within 1 second of Lynx. This overtake was really easy earlier. Oh my goodness, Lynx way off. He'll somehow keep from bashing against another wall, but he has lost position to Critical. Oh, Critical goes off just ahead now. Is Critical damaged, or did he just tap the wall? No damage to Critical. Lynx now makes a stop. So Vera will go back into 3rd, and Larry is still behind Racing Jason overall. When is Vera going to make her stop? Vera stopped now. No, this is Lynx. Where's Vera? Okay, so Vera is going to wait until the last lap of the race to make her stop. Lynx is going to end up behind Jason, but still far enough ahead of Larry B. So Larry should not end up fighting with Lynx for this position here. Larry can actually see Lynx right now. And if Lynx has another instant, it could make things a little bit intriguing. here's your leader, Mr. Sunshine. So TJT Oliver has actually gained 3 positions since the start of this race. Elmar Critical has gained 6. Racing Jason has also gained 6, although Jason still has yet to make a stop, I believe. Everyone else is basically everyone else has lost positions, with the exception of Sunshine, who's staying steady. So Sunshine's only won one race earlier this season, but it looks like he's going to make it 2 victories, both on very flowy hill up with a lot of elevation focused, a lot of elevation on the circuits that it looks like he's going to win both of his races on, with a lot of flowing corners. Bernice Alps, and then here at Nurburgring, Nordschleife. Second place, Elmar Critical is completely in a zone of his own as well. And if Critical hadn't been, fighting earlier and lost positions earlier, I think this would have been an easy victory for Critical. Vera Tabinks runs 3rd. Championship hopes are basically out of the question for her unless Sunshine disconnects now. She does not have a shot for the title. However, if Sunshine was to disconnect, Vera and Larry B would be your championship contenders. Larry is back in 6th position right now, behind LMP Lynx. Of our 12 stars, 11 of them are still running on the circuit right now. Jason is actually closing on Vera, slowly but surely. It was a 10-second gap, now it's down to 8 seconds, and Lynx, in the same vein, is also closing on Jason. Larry is losing touch with Lynx. Ludicrous speed, this is the other thing. High hopes for a title contention, but an accident lap 1 has taken him out of the fray. 36% left in the fuel tank. The big question for Ludacris is, will he even have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race right now, just to salvage a 7th place finish? He is so far back behind the rest of the field that he is not going to be able to really capitalize, even once you see Tabinks and Jason making their stop. Also, Sunshine still needs to make his stop as well, so we will see the gap that he has over Critical collapse a bit, but not so much that Critical will be fighting with him for the win. So Ludacris is actually closing on Larry, interestingly enough. As I say that, it looks like he's gone off. Never mind. Is there damage? No damage, but he has gone off again. That's going to kill his forward momentum. Another fight to keep an eye on will be this one. EXR Juice versus SDR Dramora. Juice has already made a stop. Dramora has not, as far as I am aware. So keep an eye on this fight for the 10th and 11th positions. I'm curious to see if Lynx will be able to catch and overtake Jason before Jason makes a stop. 3 of our top 4 drivers still have yet to make their final stop of the day. Lynx into the dirt. It looks like, at least I imagine Lynx is going to walk out of here with a 3rd. Although he lost a lot of time after his accident, I think he was far enough ahead. He's into the wall again. No damage. But he's definitely kind of bashing his head against the walls, and is bashing his tires against the wall, and it's really hurting him. But I think Lynx is still fast enough. He'll be ahead of both Larry and Vera Tabinks once those drivers have made the stop. So I think Lynx, all things considered, is still going to walk out of here with another podium finish. someone just lag out again? Who lagged out? If it was somebody, it wasn't somebody near the front for sure. And it's EXR Juiced who has dropped out of the event. So everything's really calmed down at this stage in the event. No one's in a position to really fight. So with Juice's DNFs, Dremora is basically guaranteed 10th. Could have gotten 9th, but it looks like Dremora's been involved in an incident somewhere that has caused him to completely lose touch. Well, yeah, Dremora's been involved in an incident now, actually. Car is completely damaged, so it looks like, despite all of his focus on this event, it looks like he is going to be completely out of contention of any position other than 10th. So here's Jason, trying to stay ahead of LMP Lynx. Your leader, Mr. Sunshine, is making his stop, but we do not believe that Critical will be able to overtake him or even really challenge him here. The interesting battle is going to be for third. Vera, Lynx, and Larry B. the G will be the drivers rounding out the last of the podium positions here. Jason's far enough ahead of Lynx that Lynx was not able to catch him, but this is where the real interest is going to be. We're on board with Larry. We're going to see drivers ahead, 2 of them we're anticipating, to pit. Will he end up ahead of Vera to Binks? And what can he do against LMP Lynx? Lynx has already made his stop. But Lynx has been struggling a bit. But the gap has expanded gradually in Lynx's favor. So there you are. Lynx does officially jump ahead of Vera, who is still in the pits. There's Jason. Larry goes by him. And has also cleared Vera as well. There goes Ludicrous Speed. So Ludicrous Speed, we still do not know if he has the fuel to make it to the end of this race. It will be close with 23% left in the tank. But he has recovered to 5th at the moment, 11 seconds off of Larry B. So right in the middle of the other title contenders. Ludacris would love to... Obviously, the championship is out of contention for him, but he would love to at least come home with 2nd place in Drivers' Championship points. And if he can just stay behind Larry, he will be able to do that. So the gap at the front has now shrunk after Sunshine's made his stop. It's shrunk down to 8 seconds. Everything now just comes down to Sunshine. Oh, actually, Critical seems to have transmission damage, but as long as Sunshine doesn't make any mistakes, he doesn't have any accidents, doesn't take damage to the car, and doesn't lag out, the race win will be his, as well will be the championship. He can back off, he doesn't have to really push as hard. While Critical is faster than him, he's not 8 seconds a lap faster, he's closer to 1 to 2 seconds a lap faster. So final 8 miles roughly of the 1960s F1 GP Championship presented by the Sunshine League. It's been an absolutely fantastic series to watch. Even when we've had races with poor attendance, they've normally been short enough with enough interesting battles to still make them kind of fun to watch. A lot of hype coming into this final race, but in the end, everyone still gets nice and spread out, which has been the case for most of the races this season. The only exception really was at Bernice Alps, where we saw Sunshine Ludicrous take the fight down to the last lap, last corner. But still, it's been really interesting just watching the drivers throw their cars around and trying to make something of their day. At the moment, it looks like everyone's stabilized where they are on the circuit. While Critical continues to eat away at Sunshine's lead, there's just not enough time for him to go through it all. Especially with how the back straightaway works as a nerf to the Ferraris, which don't have nearly the straight line speed that the other cars in this series have. Vera is pulling away from Jason. Ludacris is pulling away from Vera. Ludacris also is closing on Larry, but again, there's just not enough time left for him to really catch Larry and then actually make something of it. Lynx is holding steady, if not slightly closing on... Oh my goodness, and Sunshine's had an accident! Sunshine has had an accident! Something has gone wrong for Sunshine on the last lap here at Nurburgring. Something has gone wrong. He has transmission damage. He has now lost the lead to Critical. Now this doesn't change anything for the championship. Sunshine is still ahead of all of his rivals, but Critical is going to walk out here with the victory. What happened to Sunshine? There's transmission damage on his car. But what happened to Sunshine? Oh, he's off. He is way off. Wow, is he off. Something has gone terribly wrong with that machine. Everything's falling apart. He has a 44-second lead over third. He just needs to bring this thing home. It doesn't have to be second. Right now, if he just comes home on the podium steps, he will be fine. But something has started to go wrong for Sunshine. The wheels are starting to come off the ride here in the last half of the last lap here. Critical's already pulled out. 4-second lead, so Critical is going to back into another victory. Well, that's not really fair. Well, in this case, he's backed into the victory. All the other victories were absolutely earned. This one's kind of backed into. Whatever's happened to Sunshine, I think he's stabilized it. He's not hemorrhaging time to Critical anymore. So it looks like all things considered, it looks like it's everything's stabilized. With just a few corners to go, even if Sunshine destroys the car, he'll be able to limp around to finish third at the least. So LMR Critical botched qualifying, had an instant early today, pitted early, and had to overtake several drivers twice. But in the end, off of everyone else's misfortune, LMR Critical is going to walk out of here with his 4th victory in 5 races that he started. So an outright dominant season, but not enough attendance to let him contend for the championship. But he will win his 4th race this year, and Mr. Sunshine will bring it out of the final corners, cross the line, and will lock up his championship with a second place finish. For LMP Lynx, the best he's going to be able to deal with is going to be a third. Could have been a second, but an accident has taken him out of contention for a second. Honestly, it could have maybe even been a race win, considering how Sunshine had a bit of a collapse there. But an accident will mean Lynx will only have to settle for third on the steps of the podium. Fourth, we'll go to this man here, Larry B. the G. Another race without a podium, but he has taken home a victory and being able to contend for the championship going into the season finale has been great, but it will be a third place in points for him overall. And this man here, Ludicrous Speed, somehow had just enough fuel. He'll limp his Eagle home across the line with a 5th place finish. Title out of contention for him. For Vera, she'll take home Rookie of the Year honors with a 6th place finish. Racing Jason will come home 7th, and the process will hold his station over SDR Dramora for what is overall 3rd in the rookie points. As I say that, though, something has happened to Jason. Jason, what are you doing? Oh, he is bringing it into the pits, apparently. It's a strange decision, but okay, yeah, you can do that, I guess. Tire barrier is got a 34-second advantage over TJT Oliver, so he'll likely be able to take home 8th without issue. Oliver been involved in some incidents, looks like it'll be 9th, and then SDR Dramora with a car that has been involved in incidents today, going to have to just bring it home with a 10th. So we're going to go ahead and start inviting our race winners into the party here. Well, actually, no, I'm just going to join their party, honestly. All right. And that will conclude our broadcast. That will conclude our race here real quickly. We want to go ahead and talk with our various finishers. We want to start with our race winner, LMR Critical. Critical, go ahead, include your audio. Out of 5 starts this season, you have won 4 of those races. What do you have to say about your run today?
Today was mediocre at best. My quali sucked a lot. Had a wrong tune and sim steering, unfortunately, so quite hard to handle here at the Nurburgring. And in the race I had an incident on the first lap, as you maybe saw. And from then on played a game of catching up, and finally caught Sunshine when he made a mistake as well. Yeah, and in the end won by a small margin. But it was fun.
All right, well, 4 victories, outright the dominant driver today. Do you think there is any chance we see you in any more Sunshine League events going forward?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if the time of day is good for me, then yes. But if it's like this again, then probably not. Because I don't want to stay up till 3:30 a.m.
Alright, well, it's been a fantastic drive for you, Critical. However you want to look at it. Great job out there, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Alright, I want to talk with our second place finisher, Mr. Sunshine here. Sunshine, you are not going to be the winner today, but you will take home the championship, being the only driver to take home the fastest lap of the day point. You started on the pole, led most of the laps. What do you have to say about your run in this race? And then what do you have to say as a champion? To be fair, it would have been absolutely hilarious if you did. Hilarious for me if you got totaled and it just came down to you trying to limp to the line ahead of your title rivals. But yeah. All right, so this is over. Great job on your championship. Reflecting back, what do you think brought it home for you title-wise? Okay. All right, well, one more question for you, Sunshine. As the host for the Sunshine League overall, will you please go ahead and advertise and promote the next big event that you guys have coming up in a few weeks here? All right. Thanks for jumping in and talking with us. Great job on your championship. I want to talk with our third place finisher now, LMP Lynx. Lynx, very impressive first lap, but as the race went on, it all just kind of gradually came apart. Still a podium position. What do you have to say about your run today, Lynx?
So I got hit with the cocoa butter cheese on the second lap, right? And yeah, the cocoa butter cheese just kind of stayed in the car. So I kept getting cocoa butter cheesed.
I'm going to assume that's like code for something that I'm not on the in joke of, so I'm not inside the joke for it, so still a great performance irregardless of every race that you showed up to. You really did put on a great showcase. What else can we see you racing in to maybe take home a victory?
I'm doing Le Mans, but I'm not gonna win that. There's the thingy tomorrow that Sunshine's doing. I'll probably, I don't know. We're at Nordschliefe again, so I'll probably like whiff and get coke butter cheesed again. So a lot of coke butter cheesing.
All right. Well, I'll leave it you to your own strange dietary choices, but great job on a podium to finish up the season. I want to talk with our fourth place finisher now, Larry B. the G. Larry, another performance that does not result in a podium, but you still hold on to third overall in the points. What do you have to say about your run today?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much just, it's kind of like last week, keeping it out of the walls, but I think this track is maybe a little more skill dependent than Rio, and a little less luck based than last week. So I wasn't exactly on the pace with the front runners, but I kept it out of the walls for the most part. I think that's kind of what sealed it.
All right, well, still, you take home a victory earlier in the season in the fight for the title down to the last lap, realistically. I'm not you, but I would consider this a successful season. How would you consider this season?
I'm pretty happy overall. I mean, I don't really care where I finished. I think it was a lot of fun either way. I'm glad that we'll kind of have a hand in bringing this series to life. And thank you so much to everyone who came out and raced. I know it wasn't exactly we didn't have a lot of people every week, but I'm glad we got a bunch of people for this race, and I'm pretty happy with the season overall.
All right, well, fourth place finish. Great job wrapping up this season, story season for you. Now I want to talk with our fifth place finisher, Ludicrous Speed. Ludicrous, coming into this race, the talk was, could he take home the championship? Throughout the race, though, the talk was, can he finish this race on only one stop? Walk us through that race from your perspective.
We got a good car built by TMS Dirt for me. We tested it the last 2 days really fast. Genuinely thought we had a shot, barring a screw-up from Sunshine, that we really could take the championship. And before the end of the second sector, it was over. I don't know if Juice thought that he could no-break that corner or what, but he hit that wall a ton, rebounded right onto the track, and left me nowhere to go. So from there, it was just push as hard as you can, try and make up as many spots as you can, but we all know if you push as hard as you can 100% of the time at the ring, you're not gonna make a lap clean, and that's pretty much what happened. Just about every lap from there on, I was off track somewhere. But I was able to claw back enough, I guess. C's get degrees, and I think finishing only 1 point behind Larry, I stay second place in the championship, right?
Yeah, you will hold on to second in the points. Yes.
Yeah, I'll take it. Sunshine ran a great race. I guess it hurts way less knowing that Sunshine ended up not totaling his car. So, I mean, if he did, I'd been cursing Juice up and down right now. But I'll take it. I'll take it for what it was.
All right. Well, real quickly, because I am in league with you, feel free to go ahead and promote real quickly the next series that you're going to be having a hand in hosting. That will be starting up in a week's time.
All right. Well, IESC, the IESC Championship. Some people may have heard about it. We had a collaboration with Sunshine League for our multi-class series last winter, I believe. We are running a GT World Championship. Starts in 1 week. Races are Saturdays, qualifying at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, races at 3:30. We will be taking. It's going to be a bit of a weird start to the schedule. We're going to run round one a week from now, and then we're going to take the next week off for the Sunshine League 12 Hours of Le Mans, and then we're going to go from there, depending on how Tor decides to schedule their things. We got 6 manufacturers. 13 rounds. It's going to be a riot. We got like 30 people signed up on our roster. Sign-up's literally open today for this week, but if you want to race in it, give me a shout here on Xbox or on Discord. If you're watching this, you probably know where to find my Discord. I'm in a good couple of areas. So yeah, that's what we're up to. It's our premiere event, probably going to be our last event run on IESC until the next Forza comes out, depending on when it's going to come out. And it should be a great time.
All right, thanks for jumping in and talking with us, man. I want to talk with our 6th place finisher, Vera Tabinks.
The ring has eaten me alive!
Vera, you are the Rookie of the Year champion for this season. Came home with the title shot mathematically, but just never really materialized. What do you have to say about your run today, Vera?
I'm certainly happy with how the whole series went, because, I mean, you remember Monza came in, I think, last, aside from a couple of disconnects. Yeah, I've figured out the car more through the series, and I feel like I've improved, so I could be happier. This has been an amazing series, and I hope that more series come along where people aren't allowed to use downforce.
All right, so out of curiosity, where else can we end up seeing you racing going forward?
I am already signed up with FFR for Le Mans.
All right, we'll be keeping an eye on that then. And now I want to go ahead and talk with our 7th place finisher, Racing Jason. Jason, very interesting day for you in the Lotus. You're kind of up and down and all around in the middle of the field. Come home 7th in the end. What do you have to say about your run today?
I don't know. That's all we got to say. I don't know. No, I don't know. It was fun, I guess, because it was Nurburgring, but like, I meant to run the Brabham. I know I said I was going to do that last time. I completely forgot to. So I just showed up with what I had. It is what it is. I don't know. I'm glad it's over with. That kind of sucked. But doing like 220 on the back straight was kind of fun.
All right, well, still 7th place. It looks like you had some decent fights going on. Anything else you want to say in general about the race, or is that it, really?
I mean, honestly, I pretty much got everything across. I'm going to look into, like, going forward at least, aside from this, I'm going to look into running a car with, I'm assuming, who's in the car with Jake? Sunshine? Yeah, that. I don't know, the Ferrari prototype element. I'm going to look into that, and then beyond that, I'm just focused on winning the final race of the F1 Championship tomorrow. Aaron moping once again. Let me call out Aaron. Huge L. Lost the championship around early. Ferrari supremacy. I rest my case.
All right. Well, thanks for jumping in and talking with us. Now I want to go ahead and talk with our 8th place finisher, Tire Bear. Tire, you only made one start this season. That was here at Nurburgring. What was it anything at all like what you expected? Oh wait, did he already leave? Yes, he already left. Okay, never mind. I guess we skip him then. All right, Oliver, are you still in the party and can you hear us? No, Oliver is also left. All right, well then, last person to talk with will be SDR Dramora. Dramora, you'll be classified 10th at the end. Real quickly, you put a lot of effort into practicing, setting up, and preparing for Nurburgring, and it ended up meaning absolutely nothing. What do you have to say about your run today?
I survived! That's it.
What counts as survival? Wait, no. What counts as survival? Because you're not even crossing the line at the end, so what counts as survival?
I didn't tore the
9.5
car
minutes,
up in
apparently.
one. I kept the car in one piece. Not too much damage at all.
All right, fair enough, I guess. 10th place finish. What do you have to say about your race overall today?
Other than that, it was shite. Not even that great. Like I said, that didn't matter in the end. And
Well,
I got nothing else to say.
I appreciate your blatant honesty. Hopefully next time you end up here, the excess practice ends up coming in with a stronger result for you. But irregardless, thanks for jumping in and talking with us. And that will pretty much wrap up our broadcast here from Nurburgring Nordschleife. The season finale is over here, but we have one more season finale to go here on this channel because tomorrow we'll be watching the final race of HRL's F1 Championship. That will be at Brazil, and I encourage you to join in then. And then next week, on Saturday, you can catch the ISC GT Championship as it starts. Until next time, though, I've been your host, Insane Leader 13. Thank you very much for joining us today, and goodbye.